Coming up on Relatables. You're technically going with the flow.
Yeah, but I've still got what I wanted.
Just not on your schedule.
Not on my
This
terms.
was not planned.
I don't think I can go with the flow with you. I'm breaking up with you.
But I love you.
I don't care.
I never ever...
I don't care.
I was scared a staff member had seen me or something and like was going to stop me. And it's definitely on camera somewhere.
So you didn't even you didn't go get a staff member and be like, I'm so sorry. I actually just...
Part 2 of Oddie's experience in therapy.
Jake and Oddie, the Relatables party.
The Relatables podcast is hosted by myself, Oddie Clark, aka
Mummy.
and my partner in crime, Mr. Jake Craig, aka Daddy. Yeah. Or Big D, some like to call him.
Let's fucking go. That's what Beth likes to call me.
Not his girlfriend. Or maybe I should start calling you Little D.
Little D.
More accurate.
Probably.
More relatable for the
I won't even
10%
fucking-
male listeners we
I won't
got.
argue with that. I'll out here rep the little D's. Don't you worry about that. It's all about the personality.
You're a good ambassador for the Little D's.
It's all about the personality. It's fucking guys. Middle of summer is the hottest day we've had.
Yes, it's like 39 degrees. Jake is sweating, eh?
We have an aircon.
Have you been doing aircon? Have you been doing aircon? Have you been doing cardio, mate?
I just went down to the toilet and checked on Henry, and from the gap, walking from the door to here up the stairs, I'm sweating. It's insane.
Have you been doing cardio?
No.
Oh, you probably should.
Oh yeah, maybe I should.
Work on that heart health.
Oh, it's freaking insane. I don't even know what it is. I had had a burrito for lunch, mate.
That's maybe what it is.
Microwave burrito.
Got the meat sweats.
Maybe it's not agreeing with me.
Tell you what the heat's good for?
What?
A heated argument.
Yeah, let's fucking go. I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Today's argument is going to be going with the flow or planning your future. What do you want to argue?
Going with the flow.
Oh, really? Maybe we don't even need to flip the coin.
Okay, I want to argue with planning for the future.
Oh, you're already arguing. All right. How about you can call in the air.
Okay.
I call all of them.
So this is going. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you flip it then.
Okay. I'm not the best at flipping, but here we go.
Heads.
Tails. Never fails, baby.
You get to choose.
So I am arguing planning your future. And this is in reference to when you're dating or seeing someone, a lot of men stereotypically say, why do you have to think so far ahead? Why can't we just go with the flow?
Oh fuck!
What?
I want yours now.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know it was for this exact some fucking niche.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I can still go with the flow.
What do you think it was for?
I just thought you meant like life in general, single or dating, or like just kind of like
throw whatever you want out there.
I'll
but
be right.
that's
Yeah,
the niche
yeah.
I was going.
Okay,
You want me
yeah.
to start or you?
Yeah. Let me think here. Fuck it. Yeah, you start.
All right.
It's hard to come up with these on the spot.
All right, Jake. I have had another epiphany.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking that when you get into the dating realm or start to see new people and new people get introduced into your life, having the already decided factor of what you want your life to look like makes dating and seeing someone else so much more easy.
Right. Okay. Me personally, I'm just a go with the flow type of guy.
How does that work? What does that look like?
Well, I am kind of like, I'm not a big planner. I'm more of like, I guess like even when it comes down to just like my day to day or like my dating life or even thinking about my future, whether it's with someone or without someone, I kind of just like, instead of looking at the bigger picture, I would prefer to just like look at the next step and just trust that I will get somewhere where I want to be. Cause I mean, there's no right or wrong path, and I believe I'm on the right path. So trying to like steer myself in the right direction, I don't think is valid.
How does that work when you add someone else into the equation?
I just have to deal with it.
Deal with the way you are. Well, don't you think it's more healthy to have pre-planned what you want your future to look like? And I'm talking in a sense of like how many kids you want, where you want to live, or like what sort of job you want to do, or where you want to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
Don't you think that helps when you bring someone else and they have their own ideas of what they want their life to look like? Do you reckon that works better than going with the flow? Because how is she going to plan around you when you don't even know what you're going to eat for breakfast?
No. And that's the beauty of it. Everything's exciting, mate.
Yeah.
everything. You don't know which way you turn. Well, look, I think if I'm getting into a situation with someone and they are a super planned out, scheduled 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 15-year plan, I want to be married at this age, kids at this age, it's setting yourself up for disappointment.
Oh.
Because what if those things don't happen?
What if it's driving you to reach there, and if you get somewhat near there, that's better than you because you have no goals at all?
But I also don't experience failure.
So you're happy all the time.
It's a good life, mate.
It's a good life.
It's a good life,
to not
mate.
know what's going on around you.
I got to say, it's a good life.
Do you reckon it's a selfish life and you're not ready to date?
Well, selfish or not, it is my life. So I think there's a good argument there that selfishness, is it selfish if it's for yourself? Wait, is that a contradictory question?
No, I think you're right there.
Is it selfish
If
I'm happy?
Not really. I wouldn't say it is. I think it's just, I would say that you're not ready for someone else in your life if you have that mindset. And I think it's good that you're happy.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that. And
Appreciate that.
I can appreciate your mindset when you're in your independent hot boy era.
Yeah.
But I think when you got to add someone into that equation, maybe you should find a little happy medium where you say like, oh, I want to have kids when I'm 30. Not like, oh, I don't know, I'll see when I get to 30. I think that's
But
a
are
better
you saying
mindset.
that for like, are you saying that for you or are you saying that for them? Like, are you saying,
I'm saying it for us.
you're saying it for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you also are like, oh, like let's say this person wasn't in your life. You would still be like, oh, I want to have kids at 30. Or does the thought only come once you start to have a relationship with someone?
I think it doesn't matter until you start to have a relation with someone.
Yeah.
But once it does, you need to have that mindset shift.
Okay. And why 30?
Well, that's just me personally.
Yeah.
You can be fucking 45 if you want.
Mate, you never know.
Like there's no right or wrong answer into planning your future. Like you can live in a shack like in the middle of the bush if you wanted. But that's your future. I'm just saying it can be, you just have to have that pre-planned. So if you imagine you say, I don't want kids, I want to live in a shack in the bush. And she's like, oh, well, we're not going to see you anymore. But you're, and deep down.
But I love you.
But yeah.
But I love you.
But deep down, you know that. But you're just saying, oh, let's just go with the flow. And then by the time you get to 30 and she's like, all right, let's settle down. And she's looking near the beach and shit. You're like, well, I want to live in the bush.
But I love you.
Yeah. Does love conquer all?
Love does conquer all.
But I don't think love conquers this because you're two
If
completely
you loved
different
me,
paths.
you would be with me.
Is that right?
If you love me,
So I got to deal with all your shit and
you don't know whether or not
swamp.
you don't know whether or not you'll get pregnant tomorrow or at 30. So if you wanted a baby at 30 or you wanted a house at 35, whatever. If you had the money, if you wanted a house at 35 but you had the money at 30, are you going to wait till 35? What do you mean? You're technically going with the flow if you do it at 30.
You're throwing it the other way.
If you're technically going with the flow if you do it at 30. If you're 25 and you want a kid at 30 but you just so happen to get your girlfriend pregnant at 26 and you have the kid, you're technically going with the flow.
Yeah, but I've still got what I wanted. Just
Not on your
earlier.
schedule.
Not on my
This was
terms.
not planned.
I don't think I can go with the flow with you. I'm breaking up with you.
I love you.
I don't care.
I never ever.
I don't care.
That's actually like purely just like an opinion-based argument, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Is there actually a wrong answer?
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think it's a good relatable fight/argument because that many couples have had that. I've had it with
The compromise part
previous
that I
relationships.
pretended to disagree with, I do agree with. Where it's like if you are a go with the flow person, but you meet someone that's like, oh, you know, I would like to have, you know, kids at this point. It's like, by all means, have a time where you want them. And I think compromise is fair enough.
And I think if two people are coming together and one is this go with the flow type and one is this organized planning, I think the best thing is compromise in the middle, but have plans together. You can still go with the flow in your independent life and figure it out day by day. But with the relationship, those sort of goals together, house, married, those sort of things, the yes or no answers to those things are what's important, and you should have those conversations.
Mate.
Maybe because the argument's over, I'm going to say I won.
Okay.
Someone's got to win.
There was zero passion in
Someone's gotta
I
win.
said I love you. There was zero passion
And
in
I
yours.
said I'd break up with you. So I win because I said those words first.
Fucking hell.
But I was going to say maybe, now I'm not agreeing with you, does it work well when there's someone with such a strong mindset of, I don't want to say you're easily compromised, but you will.
What do you mean? I am.
You'll.
The most compromisable person ever.
So if you have someone who's so planned and thinks about the future as one, and then there's you who's go with the flow and easily compromised, your whole life is just sort of molded around this one person.
That's a good point. Like I feel like it's still you are going with the flow.
Yeah.
If you just like
go with her flow.
Yeah. Like what she's doing is not flowing.
Yeah.
But I'm so laid back and relaxed that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm keen to do that.
So technically it would work.
Yeah, like I had no plans.
It's sort of like opposites attract.
Yeah. It's like Beth's like, I'd love to have a kid by 28, 29. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't plan on it, but why not? See what happens when we get there.
So, one point your girlfriend's just going to be like, I'm pregnant. You're like, oh, sweet.
Fuck it, I guess it is for this. What am I going to do?
Time to go with the flow.
What am I going to do?
I'm going to go with the flow of this little kid.
I actually reckon that's a good point. You're right. Chalk and cheese, opposites attract.
Yeah.
Two people
Do you think opposites attract?
I kind of believe that. Not always. You need to be somewhat similar.
Yeah, I think so too. I used to think like when I was in school, like opposites attracting, like you're the best parts of each other or something like that. But I don't believe that. I think you have to have a lot of common interests.
I think it's like you need to have a lot of common interests, but Beth and I are very different in the way of she does like to plan things and I don't. But there is so many things we're similar in. And I think that those two things make it look like we're opposite, but we're really not.
I think core values, you're the same.
Yeah.
And go of the flow type mindset is like a little thing on the outside. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know if I fully believe that, but I do. I think it makes sense to a point.
Yeah.
But so I wonder what if two people that are, okay, first of all, two people that were like me, that would both go with the flow, nothing would get done.
Yeah.
We would have zero experiences.
Boy, I just realized who's in that relationship. You know exactly who I'm talking about. We have a close friend. And they don't do anything.
They're both very go with the flow.
Yes.
What's the word?
Nonchalant?
Yes. What's the word when they're very indecisive.
Yes.
And so it's like a decision doesn't get made. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
the
the
same.
best way to describe it.
I'm the same. I'm indecisive. Like sometimes I'm decisive and sometimes I'm indecisive. But if I'm indecisive, no decision's getting
And then
made
it's just
unless
like, let's
someone.
just stay home. You're like, oh yeah, let's do that.
Unless someone makes the decision for me.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
be fair, you and I on a holiday go with the flow.
Yeah, we are.
We fucking relax.
Yeah, we do.
Like not much gets done.
And one of us
we
will
come
be
home
like,
and we're
one of us will be
"Oh."
like pizza, and you're like, sandwich, yeah.
Talk about easily compromisable. To be fair though, I still don't regret. I don't have any regrets not going to a theme park in LA.
Oh, neither.
Yeah, so to me, it works.
I've told people that, and like, oh, you didn't go to which one was it?
I don't know, Universal
Studios, and I was like, yeah, I was tired after we recorded like episodes and we were doing work.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm tired. I didn't want to go. I was tired. And
I doubled down.
You didn't make the most of the situation. I was like, I did. I relaxed.
I made the most of the situation.
The most fun we had in LA, I reckon, was when we went to the rooftop of our hotel and ordered steaks.
They were good.
We ordered, like, everyone was doing, so we were with this big group in LA.
Yeah.
For a Spotify event. And it was a great event.
Yeah.
And one of the highlights was everyone was doing activities throughout the day, and then in the afternoon we'd go to an event with everyone.
Yeah.
Really good experience. And one of the days for lunch, everyone was going hikes, going to Universal, and me and Jake were like, let's go to the pool up there.
Yeah.
And then someone came around with menus and we saw steaks. And
we
they
were
were
like, fuck it.
They were like $60 or 60 USD or something. And we were like, we're on holiday. Fuck it. And we ordered these steaks. And my God, was that one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life.
Man, I don't even know if I couldn't recreate that.
That was one of the best steaks I've
It was
ever
like
had.
as fucking wide as our head. It was like so thick.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. It was so tender.
It's just the little things in life.
the flavor. And we just fully, after that, I was so full.
Yeah.
I had to go back to my room and just relax. I just like went on my phone and just like watched YouTube and shit for a while. Or maybe Netflix on my computer. I don't remember. But I don't know. I think like I stand by it. The thing about some people is, so that was a short trip and you're far away and there's lots to do. I'm the type of person that fully accepts, maybe there's 10 things that I would absolutely love to do in LA, right? If I'm there for 10 days, I know only 5 of them will be getting done.
Yeah.
Because the other days, I will prioritize chilling out.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think it's the wrong way to do it. I think that's a good way for me and you. I think you like that. But I think some people are the opposite. They're like, there's 20 things I want to do. I have 10 days, 2 things a day.
Here we go, bringing it round circle to when you said at the start, you didn't realize we were arguing about relationships. I think it's good to have a planned mindset with your core values, the things that really matter. But for us, going with the flow with like the little minute details really works in our life.
100%, yeah.
And I think that's a good takeaway for a lot of men. So have the core values of like everything you want out of like your life, like the big important shit.
Yeah.
Money, house, family, dogs, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the little stuff, steaks, gaming, YouTube, movies, what you want to do and stuff.
Yeah.
Who cares? But Jake, we sort of got into it a little bit there, but I wanted to catch up with you, especially because it was your birthday weekend.
Yeah, buddy.
We said
25?
We said, 25. Oi,
quarter of a century.
I'll tell you what's funny. Because the clip we put out and I put on my story that you were turning 30.
Yeah.
That many people swiped up and said, I thought he was like 20, 22, 23. And I was like, nah, man's getting on, eh? I got like 10 people doing it. I just went with it, eh? So everyone thinks you're 30.
I did that to you, but I said 32.
Yeah.
People fully thought so there was a few people that said, I remember your birthday when you turned 24. People said, what, he's 32? But some people were like, just straight up said happy birthday.
It's because I'm so wise.
Yeah. That's definitely wise.
Well, I'll tell you what we should do, which would be so funny, is like, because people obviously don't know that much about us, we should just chuck a random like middle of or the end of the year, because none of our birthdays are there, happy birthday to each other, and see what people like jump on the bandwagon.
No, they will. They 100% will. That's crazy.
We can see who your real ones are, and let's see if we can flush out any acquaintances who we actually know in person.
Ooh.
And see if anyone jumps on the bandwagon.
Actually,
and I'll just be like,
so not
birthday,
to the
Jake.
listeners.
Yeah.
Just like in a group chat with our friends.
I can do it as a post and on Instagram and catch them red-handed. Oh, that's a segment. And like listeners will get involved, but that's obviously not bad because they don't know us in person.
So in a couple months, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
'Cause my birthday's gone.
Yeah.
In a couple months, I'll do a photo. Happy birthday, Artie. Best co-host ever. Like best whatever. Say all this nice shit, right? And then it's all just like this big hoax. And to be fair, a lot of listeners and stuff, they will fall for it.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to fall for it. But
Yeah.
there's people that are not alled to fall for it.
Yeah.
And
see which one of my real mates are.
mate, we'll fucking see who messages.
Because I reckon that many people rely on that Facebook bullshit.
And then
And Snapchat now.
the segment can be is you just say thanks to them if they message you, okay? Segment is we call those motherfuckers and we confront them.
Oi, that's a great idea.
Got a couple months' time, guys. Stick around.
Yeah. But how was your birthday? You went up to Queensland.
Yeah, I had a good time. Drove up the day before my birthday. We left at 3 p.m. Didn't get there until 12:30 midnight. And
Why?
I was falling asleep at the wheel.
Wait, 9 till, is that 9 hours? It is.
So
it is.
Yeah, 9 hours.
Fuck, you were there at 12.
Yeah.
Was there heaps of traffic because it was a long weekend?
There was no traffic. It just took ages.
What the fuck?
I know.
You just went the wrong way, mate.
We actually did do a little misturn.
At
one point.
You're always chatting and fucking
But it was
don't
fun.
listen. What did you get for your birthday?
My parents gave me money. I'm going to buy some golf clubs.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Definitely. You're in the back ends of your 30s, mate.
I am starting 30 early.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided. I'm going to buy some golf clubs. But then what Beth got me, she got me okay, do you know what a Concorde is?
No.
It's a type of plane.
Oh, is that the Lego thing?
It's this fucking big ass box, right? And it's a Concorde aeroplane. It's a meter
was that
long.
on Baddies Facebook, Baddies Unite? Yeah, I saw that.
Mate,
Those things are expensive. Like
it was like
$500.
$300.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I was like, you shouldn't have spent that on me. Rude.
no, you look excited. I saw the video.
I was chuffed. I can't wait to start building it.
If you're not in Facebook Relatables Baddies Unite on Facebook, we posted a video of that and you look like you were sucking a dick when you were that excited.
Mate, I was I couldn't believe it. I had no idea that she even like got me a present because I said to her, because Christmas had just gone and she got me a good Christmas present. And I said for my birthday, I would prefer it if it was just like you took me on a day out. It's shit that I like to do. And we just went with the flow.
Yeah, like a little kid.
And so she said, yeah, sweet. I was just like, yeah, because, like trying to save money and stuff. And then she went and bought me this motherfucking thing.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
But it was a sick gift. I'm so excited about it. 18 plus Lego. Crazy.
That's mad. And what I wanted to talk about, because you were just in Queensland, and it sort of makes sense of what we're just talking about.
Yeah.
Going with the flow sort of is what we do with the podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
Or planning our future. And what I've been feeling a little bit recently, but also I don't know how to feel at the moment, is outgrowing where we've grown up.
Yep. Can't argue with that, mate.
I went to like our local shopping center, like the big place where all the big shops are.
Yeah. As a fezzer.
Yeah, as a fezzer. Erin Affair. And I was just walking around. I know I go there in the middle of the day because we record it whatever hour we want. And I was just, I don't know, there's something about, I couldn't explain the feeling, but I was looking at the people and they're all old because where we live is from like a very retirement-based
There's a lot
living.
of over 50s living.
Yeah, and they're all like moving in slow motion, which is each their own. I'm not judging them, but I was thinking like, is this where I want to be? And I couldn't describe the sensation that what I was feeling, but I was like, am I looking for more? Is this what I want? And me and Jake have been talking in the background. Jake messaged me and said he wanted to talk about it in the background. I was like, fuck it, let's talk about it on the pod. I feel like it's relatable.
Yeah.
And it's like we're thinking about moving to a new place, which is potentially more motivating and makes more sense for our lives, but it's scary.
It's so scary.
Because it's good for you now because your parents just moved to Queensland. But
It's more scary for you.
It's leaving my parents, but also where we grew up and our friends. And I know everyone does that, but it's still so scary.
It is scary, but it's funny. So I was talking on the way home. We drove home yesterday, and on the way home, Joanna and Beth both were talking about it and like talking about how they were getting pretty keen, and then they both said they were like, oh, like would audio because I've told Beth that you would be keen to move to Queensland at some point. Like I guess it's pretty. You're right. Go with the flow. Like all of this is just kind of like at some point. And Beth was like, oh, do you reckon Oddie would be ready? And I was like, all I have to do is ask him and see if he is. You know, it is a big move. But I was talking to my cousin. He's like 37, right? He has 2 kids. And it was on my birthday. We're having a barbecue. It was him, my dad, and myself just out at the barbecue doing bro stuff, just cooking meat. Yeah. And he was talking about, he lives in Grafton, which is about 3.5 hours south of the Gold Coast. But he loves the Gold Coast. He lived there for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about how he always looks at jobs on the Gold Coast, blah, blah, blah. He'd move there. Hopefully he'll move there soon. And I was like, oh, if a job came out tomorrow, like, would you move tomorrow? He said, nah. And I said, why? And he had a good reason. They've moved around a lot for his work. His missus has just gotten into a career she really wants and she just got a good job. He's like, just wouldn't be fair to move again for me. The girls are about to start school. That's his twins. And my missus is about to start her career. So I was like, I want to give her at least 5 years. So I said, fair enough.
It's healthy.
And then he said, would I ever move to the Gold Coast? And I was like, yeah, actually I would. And he goes, oh yeah. And I was like, he's like, when? And I was like, he's like, he asked, he's like, would Oddie be keen? I said, yeah, he's keen. He said, we talked about it. And he said, well, when? I said, I don't know, a year and a bit. He goes, it's always going to be a year and a bit.
True.
Always.
Because we have been saying that.
I know. He's like, in a year and a bit, it's going to be another year and a bit. And then I told him our whole like business plan thing that we have that we really want to do. And my dad was listening in and he was listening. And I told them both this. I just like went on this whole rant about what we want to do. And they were like, fuck, that sounds hectic. That sounds so good. They were like, this is the place for it.
Shit.
Yeah. And so I don't know. We've semi-spoken about it, but like if we speak about it in depth on here, that's speaking it into existence and we have to do something about it.
Yeah, we are very much like about talking about it on here. That means we have to do it.
I know. But I told them about this whole idea we have and they were just like, fuck.
Yeah. So I guess
I said funds, you know, and then
what's our dilemmas? What's our things holding us back?
So I said the biggest one will be, the 2 big ones will be coordinating everyone. Yeah. You know, because you, Cassie, Beth, myself.
It's hard because we're like a married couple and then we have our married couple.
Yeah, no, we're like a married couple, so they're tied to us. Yeah. So Beth is tied to you, even though she's not. Yeah. Because she's tied to me. And exactly. Cassie's tied to me. But so I said the biggest one is coordinating everything and funds.
Yes, money.
So the money, which sucks, but you know, Dad was like, fuck, money's always going to be an issue. Just got to take the risk. True. I was like, fuck, okay.
Your dad's always had a baller mindset, but
I know. He always has had this baller mindset. And he also
worked out for him.
Has just been so, like, he's had times where he was super poor and just fine with it.
Well, our biggest dilemma is the move's easy, whatever, finding a place. I guess it's like, would you and I have separate places and then also rent a studio, which we get double rent? Which is a lot. Or would we get like a fucking beast house and then split the rent between 4 of us and then we also have a studio in it and we pay extra rent for the studio and we like make a portable studio?
It's all, it's fucking...
I feel like that could be a cheaper option, or do we move there and then start the business after we've already moved and then we've got all the fucking moving parts ready?
Mate, it's fucking... There's so much to think about, but it would just be... I feel like you can't go wrong. Being there, I have my cousin, you're going to love what he said. He was like, the best way to do it, get an Airbnb for 2 months.
Yeah.
I was like, you and Oddie speak the same language. You said that multiple times. You got to get an Airbnb for 2 months, hire a podcast studio, go up there and just live in it and be on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Like as if you live there and see if you like it. But it's also like, I know we're going to like it.
I know. So here's also my personal dilemmas, which I think I can overcome, but I think it's a bit scary and it'll force me to grow. Like half of my personality is like that business grind mindset and you got to be in the hustle and bustle. But then the other half of my personality is like, I like to be a mute. I like not seeing anyone. I like going on the beach and getting a park and no one being there. And I definitely know Queensland and the Gold Coast is way better than Sydney. And I think I'll find,
Sydney,
I'll find my like pace there. But also I do want to somehow hold my mute independent. Like I like nature and Budai National Park, like the national park where no one is. Like, but I think I'd need to grow and go somewhere else first and do that for a couple of years. And I'm like, you know what? I've talked to a lot of people and like, I think we got to do this and grow. But also once we do that, I think we'll also appreciate this place so much more.
100%.
Yeah, where we grew up.
Yeah. My parents are loving it up there. A couple things I'll say about those two things, even though you said you can overcome them. When I was just up there, I made the conscious decision. I was like, okay, if I ever move here, I will be getting a place that is far enough away where I don't have to be able to walk to the beach, but it needs to be a bike ride to the beach. But that's not even because of like how close I want to be to the beach. I would be a driving distance from the beach. I don't care. But it's the parking situation that was a bit tricky. So basically, I think the best way to overcome that is make it so you can just ride a bike to the beach because then you don't even have to worry about a park.
Well, we could get scooters potentially.
E-bikes,
Did you figure out that
scooters? No, I need to look into that. He didn't have a fucking, my cousin said he'd have a scooter, but he didn't have one.
Yeah.
And then the nature, all you got to do is go west 20 minutes and there's nature.
True, and there's like all new like good camping spots. Yeah, it's just so scary, man.
It's so scary.
But also I want to do it so much, and then it's also a lot of money, and then like we save money living here, but I feel like that's a cop out. Then my brain's
exactly, yeah, it's a
spiraling
cop
right
out.
now.
It's a good point.
Like, and then do we just like make a plan? Like we say like January 1st next year we want to be there or something, and then we plan around it or something like that. I don't know. It's such a tough, tricky dilemma, which I think is relatable.
Yeah, no, it's a good problem to have.
So anyone out there who's done it, because I
Yeah.
think so many people have had this exact dilemma. Like, what made you make that leap of faith?
Yeah, it's a good question.
And, yeah.
I think it's a good problem to have, though.
Oh, it's a great problem to have because I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of our job being so mobile, which is really good. And we do make somewhat enough money to have these decisions, which is really grateful.
I think like the best thing we could do, right? I was looking at rentals. It's a little cheaper than Sydney.
It's way
kind
cheaper,
of like
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more like here. You'll get something decent for like $650, right? But do you buy a commercial piece of something and do our plan? You put our studio in there, and then you build another one that you rent out and teach people how to podcast.
Yeah.
Or people that know how to podcast already, great, come. We know how to produce. We teach someone to produce. And then like
Go balls deep.
and then it's like you would start off slow, but then like you would probably just be scathing by for a while. Once it gets a bit more known that there's a fucking new podcast studio that knows how to do it properly,
These boys.
people are going to start hiring it out. You build one more, you got two, always hired out. And then we have ours that we keep as ours.
Yeah.
Then you have a little cafe and
Do we
then
go
somewhere to
balls
sell
deep?
merch. And then
The other dilemma too, living together. Do you reckon, because we've lived together in the past and we
I
sort of,
personally think we should live separately.
that's what I was going to say,
Yeah.
because like we also often have the thing like, don't say that, don't talk to me. Like,
Yeah,
'cause we-
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We've gotta come-
personally think we should live
but
separately.
that's more money to get.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we want the girls to be like live together as well as forcing them to.
Yeah.
Even though they'd
true.
probably get along. But like-
They'd be fine, but still, it's good. Yeah, you just want to have your own space.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
But
very,
no, it's all.
very tricky and relatable.
It is relatable. So anyone that's moved distance to a new city,
Let's look into all those options, and maybe in a month or so, we'll come back with a little bit more of a plan.
yeah, no, I like that.
Jack, do you know what one thing is I love about the relatables?
What's that?
Is that we are here, there, and everywhere.
Ah,
We're deep.
yep.
maybe a little bit intellectual.
Maybe. Can be courtesy of me.
And then we also like to throw a curveball, have some fun.
Yes.
That's what we're doing in this next segment. Confession sessions are making a return for 2025, baby. What's the prompt, Jake?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
As always.
We're going to start the year with a bang with these confession sessions, and we have two lovely callers.
Yes.
So let's get straight into it.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to Confession Session. How are you going?
I'm great. How are you?
I am going great. I'm joined by Jake.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Hi.
We're excited to hear your story.
This is the most excited I've ever been about anything in my whole life.
Oh, let's go. That's good. That's good.
Let's go. So first things first is, would you like to be anonymous?
No, it's all right.
So we can use your name. Hello, Han. Very nice to meet you.
Han,
Is
let's
that
go.
short for Hannah?
Yeah, it's Hannah, but my friends call me Han. Either works.
Yeah, we like that.
Australians love a good nickname, so
Yeah.
we'll stick with Han.
Where are you calling from?
I'm in Salem, Oregon, actually, in the United States.
Oh, nice.
Long way.
Long way away. Oddie and I, we've spent some time in the States for about 10 days in LA.
Yeah, could call us locals.
Yeah.
Could call us locals. But Han, you have a story when you got to go, you got to go. And
Yeah.
when I say don't leave out any details, maybe do if you want, but
Oh, shit.
it's up to you. Take it from the top and we'll interact.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm 19 now, so this is about 3 years ago when I was like 16, and I was house sitting for my best friend when a friend of mine who had like moved away a few years earlier told me that he was going to be in town and wanted to schedule a time to hang out.
Ooh.
And so,
What was the
well, not like
relationship
that.
between you two?
Oh, not like that. Okay.
No,
Just friends?
guys, just friends.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry.
All good. We're on board. We're on board.
We weren't best friends or anything. So we can hang out, guys. I literally got you. Anyway, and so we scheduled a time to hang out with another one of our friends who also happened to be a guy.
Cool.
And they came to the house that I was staying at, and we decided to go get some drinks and like coffee or boba. I don't remember what it was, but and then go to an arcade because they're boys, like boy things. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm just here for the ride.
Fair enough.
And I had just gotten my license, and I really wanted to drive because I love my car. And so I ended up driving all three of us to coffee and then the arcade. And I decided it was a brilliant idea to get a large drink because I'm a drink girly. Just what happened.
hydrated.
Hey, that's
Hydrated queen.
Everything's checking out here.
Yeah.
I like big drinks as well.
Yeah. And so we go into the arcade and we're hanging out for a bit, wandering around, playing a few different games. And then we spotted the laser tag arena, and we had to play because laser tag's just the best thing known to man.
I suck at laser tag.
I haven't played laser tag since I was like 12.
I suck at it, but go on. Sorry to interrupt.
That's totally okay. I love laser tag, and I also hadn't played since I was like 12, and I was like, we have to.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
And so we were a few rounds in, and we were just having a blast. It was so cheap there, so we played like 5 rounds. And at the beginning of like the last round, I started to kind of have to pee a little bit. But I was like, no, it's totally fine. Like, we're about to start. I don't want to make them wait. I can hold it. And so we go in, and everything's going great, and we're having fun. We're running around. And then I really have to pee. And so at this point, I'm split up from my friends, and I'm sprinting around the arena, trying not to pee myself and looking for the staff member to let me out because he said to find him if we needed anything.
Oh,
and I
you're locked in.
obviously
Wait, you're locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so. And so like I obviously needed something. And so I was like sprinting around trying to find him. But then eventually I could run no longer. And I was waddling around, like clenching my legs together, trying so hard not to pee.
Are people shooting you and stuff?
Yeah. No, there were little tiny like 10-year-olds like shooting me.
She's injured.
You
She's
suck.
She's
You
down.
suck.
She's down.
I know. And I yelled so many things at those kids that day, but it was like I was like, move. I think I pushed one of them out of the way. Like I was not having it. And so eventually I can't find this guy and I feel it like it's about to come. And I'm like, this is not happening. I'm 16 years old. Hold it in. And I just sprint to the exit and with all of my strength, like try to bust down that door. And that's when like it just started to come out of me. And I got through the door and like pee is just streaming down my leg. And it's literally everywhere. I'm in like the room where they give you your vests and your guns, and there's a puddle at my feet. And so I throw off the vest and the gun. It was probably on the floor or something, not even where it was supposed to go. And I'm like, this is not happening. And I sprint to the bathroom and I sit down and I let out everything I have left, which is not much. Like when I'm saying I peed myself, I peed myself. Oh. And my shoes, my socks, I was wearing shorts, like everything is soaked and like drenched. When I walk, there's squeaking noises.
No.
Like, it was really bad. And so I start panicking because I'm like, what am I going to tell my friends? I can't tell them that I just peed myself, especially because like they're my guy friends and we're not that close. Like they're just like friends that I knew from school, but like we were good enough friends to like hang out, you know? And so I was like, I can't tell them I just peed myself. And so I texted them. I was like, hey, I just threw up in the bathroom and I'm really sick and like I need to leave. And they were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, bro, like I'm fine. Let's just go. And so they were finished up the round and I like dried myself off and everything as much as I could, which was no use because like I said, I was literally soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I basically, when they said they're ready to go, I basically ran out of there because I was scared a staff member had seen me or something and like was going to stop me. And it's definitely on camera somewhere.
So you didn't even you didn't go get a staff member and be like, I'm so sorry. I actually just fully wet myself. You need to clean this up.
No, there was a huge puddle in like the waiting area and I left it because I was not about to go confess to that because that's the worst thing ever.
That's insane.
What did your friends say because was there like any...
they had to know.
Did they see your pants were soaked or were you wearing like black pants?
Bro, guys, I'm not even done. Just wait.
Oh, shit.
But it's nothing like... Anyway, okay. So we get to the car and I had a blanket in the back seat because I drove them. And so
Genius.
I wrapped myself in the blanket.
Genius.
And I go, and they're like, they're giving me weird looks. And I was like, well, it's in case I throw up. Like, I'll throw up on the blanket and not on myself or like my car. And they were like, yeah, okay. Do you want me to drive? And I was like, no, like, it's fine.
Genius.
Because I had just gotten this new car. Like, I was 16. I was not letting anybody else drive my car. Anyway. And so we get back to the house and I wait for them to get out of the car just in case. And thank goodness I did because when I got out, I have cloth seats, massive wet puddle where my butt was. Absolutely soaked through even the blanket, like massive wet puddle like underneath me. And I was like, if they saw that, I'm done for.
No.
Anyway, and so we get out of the car and they're saying bye. And of course, my friend from out of town wants a hug because he's like, he doesn't know when we're going to see each other again.
Yeah.
And so I give him a hug and I was like, please don't feel me. Please don't feel me. And it's been 3 years and they've never said a word.
So you hugged him wearing a full blanket.
You haven't spoken to them since?
I have not spoken to them about that day since. And I bet you they know because I bet you they saw my pee puddle in the arena and they just never said anything because it's so embarrassing. And I just, it was
So
horrible.
basically, I reckon, you messaged them saying you're sick and you're like vomiting. But when they left, you're the only one that's left, and there was a massive pee puddle, and your vest is on the ground. So they're like, "Oh, she wet herself."
Tell you what I would have done.
What?
I would have said like something like, "Those little kids are so annoying." One of them came in with a water pistol and went ham, and their mum like got super angry and dragged her.
I was gonna say you should have just been like, "Oh, one of these kids just fucking pissed on me."
I should have. That's so smart. I was not in my right state of mind.
You never are.
Yeah, you can't
in
think.
that situation, you never are. And was there at any point in time where you were just like, oh, the floodgates are open, I'm just going to let it happen?
Yeah, like in the arena, when I got to where the laser tag area, like where you keep the vests and stuff, I was like, it's not stopping now.
Oh, you suffered the most.
Yeah, there's
important
definitely
defeat.
cameras in there. And there's me peeing myself on a Wonderland arcade camera
That's
somewhere.
amazing. We are so sorry for your
Those friends are probably like,
experience.
why'd you put a blanket on?
I know.
I feel like the blanket part is like so genius.
Oh, thanks.
Well, Han, thank you very much for coming on. And sorry that happened to you. Well, but at least you got to come on here and
Yeah,
tell
that's crazy.
That's okay. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. I'm on Patreon, and I look forward to every week's episode.
Let's go. Thank you, Han. Thank
Thanks
you
so
so much.
Yeah.
all right,
thanks,
see you
guys.
later.
Bye.
Oh, what a legend.
That's a good story, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a good story. It's unfortunate that the friends haven't spoken to us.
I think we's better than poo.
I think I would prefer to wee myself than poo myself, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you know what I actually find is when you're holding, like, I would prefer to hold in a poo than a wee. If
Yeah,
that makes like
You can hold it better. And it doesn't
driving home, needed a wee, and we were like 22 minutes. I remember it so clearly, 22 minutes from the nearest place to wee. And I was like, oh, this is going to be the hardest 22 minutes of my life. I feel like when you need to wee, it's like you need to wee.
But also one thing we never have to like comprehend. I know girls can pop a squat, but like realistically in the public, like nature, we can pee anywhere.
I was at
God's gift.
You know, Big Banana, Coffs Harbour.
Yeah.
If you guys are from Australia, it's just like this place where, I don't know, it's the Big Banana.
Yeah. Everyone knows that in Australia.
Stopped there, did a wee, got a drink, was walking back out. There's toilets 10 meters to my left. To my right, 7-year-old kid just pissing in the bush.
Yeah.
There's like 400 people around. It's a full attraction. And he full made eye contact with me and just doubled down and kept pissing. He was like,
Mate,
full pants down to his ankles and everything.
Before we started, like I just pissed in the bush outside the
Oh yeah,
studio.
that's where whenever we need to piss, we just run out of the bush. We don't even go to the house.
Oh, all right, we got one more story.
Let's go.
Shut up, Jake and Oddie. We are hijacking the next couple seconds of this episode.
This is Jake and Oddie from Patreon.
Patreon.
Sign up to Patreon because that is where most of the fun happens.
That's where all the fun happens. We can't get cancelled. The episodes are just so much fun, and we're building the baddie community. How much is it, Jake?
It's $5 a month,
You know how much that is a week?
$1.25 a week,
How much is that a day?
17 cents a day.
Go run your money to Patreon because we love you and it lets us be able to do this for a living. And the episodes are really good. We hope it's good value anyway.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Welcome to Confession Session. Sorry, we thought we didn't have you there for a second. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing really well. I would like to start off by asking if you would like to be anonymous.
I should probably stay anonymous for this
Okay,
story.
easy peasy. So I've got Oddie to my left here. So, hey, Oddie, say hi.
Hey.
I haven't done this for a while. I feel nervous. Have you got a name that you would like have always wanted to be called, or do you want us to choose a name for you?
You can choose one.
Ooh. I sense a little bit of an accent. Where are you calling from? I might help pick the name.
I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver, Canada.
My sister's going to be flying into Vancouver soon.
I only know one Canadian girl, but we did that last time. What's a mad Canadian girl name?
I mean, Joanna. Is
Yeah,
my
that's
sister's
the only
name.
one we
We'll
did.
go with Joanna.
Joanna again. All right,
Have we done Joanna
Yeah,
twice?
we've done Joanna.
Fuck it.
Let's go, Joanna.
Your name can be Joanna. So you've got
Okay,
when you got to go story for us.
I do.
Alrighty, well, take it from the top. Don't leave out any details, and Oddie and I will ask some questions if needed. But yeah, take it away.
Okay, sounds good. So just for context of why this story kind of happened, I just got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So basically your girl's got mega tummy issues.
Nice, Mike. I have a cousin with Crohn's, so I don't know how you feel, but I know what it looks like when someone's going through it.
Yeah, it's not fun. But anyways, one day I was finishing up at work and I kind of had a feeling that I probably needed to use the washroom soon, but I decided it could wait till I got home because I only live about like 10, 15 minutes away from work. And so it's a pretty quick drive. And then, I could go in the comfort of my own home.
Yep.
Can be a long drive.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
10 to 15 minutes.
You think it's fast?
famous last words, eh?
But midway through my drive, I kind of felt like I had to let one rip and decided to trust the fart. But rookie mistake. I ended up shitting myself while in my car, and I still had like 5 minutes left until I got home.
What?
Yeah, I have never driven home so fast before in my life. And so when I got home, I literally just like ran inside and I was like yelling at my family, like, just move out of the way. I was like, I gotta pee really bad. Like I couldn't say anything. And so I like ran upstairs, went to the bathroom, like threw out that pair of underwear, like took a shower, did everything, like cleaned myself. And then I took the bathroom garbage, like I took it down, took it out to the garage and threw it away in the trash bin and just acted like nothing happened. Like everything was fine.
Yeah, get rid of the evidence.
Did you throw away the clothes?
Exactly. I wasn't. Luckily, I was wearing a liner that day, so it wasn't like too bad.
Okay.
So I didn't get like everywhere, but yeah, no, I did a lot of laundry immediately.
So many questions. I picked this one because I think it's so relatable. Like everyone has this story.
Oh yeah, I've nearly pooed myself in a car, but I got to my house and was walking up the driveway, and that's when I did it. So I know what it feels like to need to go when you're in the car.
It's relatable.
I would like to point out one thing: when you do poo yourself, there's a lot more liquid than you think, and even if you have layers, it gets through all of them. Did you experience this?
I did not. The liners that I was wearing soaked up most of it, so as a girl, I was really lucky.
Thank goodness.
But the story does get worse, though.
What?
It, like, to make matters worse, it was a really, really hot summer day. And that same week, my dad had gone fishing, and so he had kind of, like, thrown out all the fish guts in the garbage in the garage as well. And for that entire week, he just kept complaining about how bad it smelled in the garage. He's like, oh, that fish smells so bad. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely the fish and not my shit-filled underwear that's in the garbage. And I was just too embarrassed to come clean. I just couldn't.
I don't blame you.
Oh, it's so funny.
Wow.
But yeah, and so now I'm just, to this day, I'm scared to trust a fart ever again in case I shart myself again. Did anyone ever end up finding out? I did end up only recently confessing to my dad since it happened. I did tell my sister when it happened too, because she kind of knows everything already, but I only recently told my dad the past couple of weeks. But this was like from months ago that it happened.
So you got to tell him, you got to tell him later on.
I feel like Jake had the exact same thing. Like he didn't tell me his story of shitting himself till like a year later.
No, I waited like 4 years.
It's like a secret you take to your grave, eh?
Oh, yeah. I thought I was going to take that to my grave, and then I was just like, oh, the content's too good. I have to tell it, but oh man, I'm trying to think. Glass half full, as Oddie would say. At least you were in the car on your own, and you had you were nearly home. Like
that is true. It could have been worse.
Wow! Thank you so much for coming on, Joanna.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel so weird to say that.
Thanks so much for having me. Love your guys' show.
Have a good day or good night. Really, wouldn't it be your night?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock over here. So
have a good night. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks so much, you guys. Bye.
Well, I say it's time to normalize everyone's sharts.
Yeah, everyone has definitely done something like that.
Yeah, send in your stories, but you got to go to the Google Doc.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to send in a confession session of when you got to go, send them in.
Yeah, this is the most reoccurring confession session.
This is definitely the most reoccurring theme. You can send any theme if you want to confess anything, but yeah. Have we ever had someone confess cheating on their boyfriend or girlfriend?
I wanted to do a whole segment on that.
That would be kind of scary.
We have to get a way to do it where it's not like
voice changer.
Not in voice changer, just not toxic ones.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I would have to figure out a way.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
All right, Jake, I'm excited to talk about this next part.
Mate, I'm fucking excited.
And this is part 2 of Oddie's experience in therapy.
Yes.
So I, once again, like I said, went back to therapy.
Fuck yeah.
And before I talk about it, let's play my before mindset before I went to my session.
Okay, round 2. I'm out the front of the therapist once again. And this time, slightly nervous, not nearly as much. I'd say last time I said on the podcast, I think I was a 7 or an 8 out of 10 nervous-wise. Now I'm like a 2, but I think I'm in a good place to actually take in the information. The first time I was a bit overwhelmed and it went really quickly. It was still good, but now I feel like I'm at a level head and I feel like I'm comfortable enough to talk about my feelings. I know the guy, like this one should be a lot better, and I should be able to take in all the information and hopefully come away with a couple tools or have some good stimulating conversations that make me think. But yeah, so I'm about to go in. We got about 5-10 minutes, and I'm thinking to start talking about, I actually had a pretty traumatic thing happen with my dog last night. I thought he was going to pass away and didn't get much sleep. That might come up in conversation. We'll see what happens. But otherwise, my biggest problem right now is having trouble shutting off from like work-life balance. But otherwise, yeah, I've been in a much better place walking in there, and I think we should have some good convos. Let's see how it goes.
So,
Fucking go. Is there an after?
there is an after.
Oh, shit.
There is an after. So, we did talk about my dog. Just want to preface before we go any further. Barry is fine.
How's he going?
He's fine. He's back to his normal self.
No way.
He's a very old dog, and we thought we had to put him down. He was freaking out at night. Just had like a brain aneurysm or a stroke or something,
Shit.
apparently. And we thought we were going to have to put him down. But he's okay, everybody.
Good.
So, I'm okay.
Good. Good.
And here is the after.
Alrighty, round 2 is done. And I got to say, like, from my personal experience, I do feel really good walking out of there. It's interesting. I was thinking about it when we were in there. It might be cool to try with your friends or anything like that. Just sitting down. As humans, we always have to be doing something in the background when we're talking to someone. We're eating, we're driving, we're walking, we're going to the gym, we're doing something. But to actually sit down and have a conversation with a person, like for an hour. I know I do it with Jake, but that's different because we're the podcast. But sit down with a person and consciously make the decision to talk to each other and be fully enveloped by the conversation without doing anything else is such a enriching experience, I think. It's like, it really like just makes you feel human. But today's session was really good. He made a really good analogy, actually, which I really liked. Because I said I was going in there with no purpose or direction, really. I wanted to see what happened. Did talk about my dog, and it was good just to like talk about how I felt. But he more so said, it's interesting for him as well, because most people that come in and have an underlying problem and they want to figure it out. It's more so, this is the analogy he gave. It's pretty funny, actually. It's like, I've opened up my doors to my house and I'm giving him a tour, and there's no direction in the tour, and it's sort of like walk through a room and say, hey, can I clean up these things? Or, hey, could I fix this? And there's no real problem with the house, but it's anything I could do to improve, like tidy up and neaten up the edges, which is kind of cool and pretty accurate for the reason I go to therapy. And a couple of the edges we were talking about today was like, how can I turn off at night? We talked about meditation and a couple of tips, or how to like enjoy the present moment. And it was a really enriching experience, and it's just cool to talk to someone and get a different perspective from someone you're not friends with and don't have any sort of like ties to. But yeah, overall, very happy again. Like, my experience was good, and I'll go back in a month.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
It was a great analogy. When he said it to me, I'm like, you just spat a bar, mate.
It's like someone's invited me in, and they just kind of, they don't even know where they're going.
Exactly. And like, as we're talking, he sort of realizes, oh, that room's a bit dirty.
Yeah.
Have you tried this? Or
That's cool.
lets you talk a little bit more about that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And like, I didn't think about that. And I was like, I didn't realize that room was that dirty. And it's also good too, because I don't know which rooms are dirty in my house sometimes. And I think that's a lot of people's problems.
Doors are closed.
Yeah.
You can't see them.
You've shut the door, but the problem's still there. And he,
Festering.
yeah, although it might not be the perfect time to open the door, he helps you open it and realize those problems can be solved in a certain way. And like I said, it was a great experience. And like the second time around, like way better going in there and like chatting, wasn't nervous at all, didn't have my sweaty palms. And it's such a cool, different experience I've never experienced as a human. Like I said, because like when you talk to your friends or vent to anyone, even your friends, your family, anything like that, we're always doing something.
Yeah.
You don't just sit down and look two people in the eye, unless, well, I don't in my life.
Nah.
Even with my girlfriend, we watch TV.
Yeah.
We'll occasionally do it on a date, and she's the only person who I do that with. But like,
Even funny, yeah, even with your girlfriend.
you always,
Same.
but we're still eating on a date.
Yeah.
Like you don't just sit there with, and the only thing you do is get the water when you need, because you're talking so much. And it's such a human experience. And although you have to fucking pay for it, it's a really good experience.
Yeah, fair, man. Maybe therapy. Maybe they just like, let's just say, I don't know, randomly take JJ for example, right? If you just like booked in a time with him and you guys booked in a time where you both knew that you were going to go down and sit down and talk for a full hour, and then like whatever came from that chat, neither one of you were going to talk about any of it outside. Like you had a pact.
Yeah.
Like, would that be as useful as therapy?
I think so. 100%.
Like maybe that makes me think though. Maybe like, so like, let's say you're worried about a friend. Is it crazy to call up a friend and be like, not say that you're worried about them, but just be like, oh, like, let's hang out and have a chat. Nothing, like literally don't even know what about. Like we'll just start talking and see what happens. Like just to find out. There's probably so much that you don't even know about your close friends.
100%. And I think it's so good when you have no other distractions. And like you don't go on your phone, you don't do anything, and you're just there in the conversation. And it's such a different thing. We get to sort of experience on here because when you're consciously thinking about the conversation and your next answers, you're more enveloped by the conversation. And I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm in this conversation right now with you 100%.
Yeah.
But in my day-to-day life, like even when my parents talk to me, like I'm doing shit, I'm cooking, I'm fucking on my phone. I'm not in that conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I can reflect on and get better at too, and maybe just put everything down and like, oh, my mum's talking to me, I'm going to talk to her.
What was I fucking watching, man? I was watching something. Okay. I think it was, there's a podcast called Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast from LA, from America. And he was talking about how he was in Amsterdam somewhere, right? And he was young. His dad traveled a lot because he was in the army. And he went to Amsterdam a lot. And he had a coffee shop he went to a lot, right? And he goes to the coffee shop. He orders a takeaway coffee. Or he orders the coffee. It doesn't come in takeaway. And he goes, oh, I wanted that one in takeaway.
Yeah.
And the barista goes, just sit down and drink your coffee. Like, if you don't have time to drink your coffee, you're doing something wrong.
Did that actually happen, or was that just like a?
He said that what the barista said to him was just sit down and drink your coffee.
Yeah.
He didn't say if you don't have time to drink coffee, something's wrong, but he said just sit down and drink your coffee.
Yeah, it's
and
like
he said it kind of like opened his eyes.
Yeah.
And so now I've kind of just for the last like week, I've just been thinking like, fuck, if you can't just sit down and drink your coffee, then that's like, it's crazy. I don't want to say anyone's doing anything wrong, but I just think it's crazy to think about that. Like when I was a carpenter or when I was doing it, like I would make a coffee to go and drink it in the car. Cause like I would wake up because I wanted to have as much sleep as possible. Cause I didn't want to be tired because I had to wake up so early. And I would wake up with so close to needing to leave that I would have to do all this stuff and rush to do it. But it's like, if you can't fucking just sit down for 5 minutes and drink a coffee.
Maybe time to reassess.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's a great mindset shift to have.
If you can't sit down for 20 minutes and talk to a friend.
Because you don't have to do it for an hour. You don't have to do it for an
It could be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you have to be doing something.
I'll tell you what else is a really good skill that I think we've unconsciously got good at because of the podcast and talking to each other, and potentially why my experience is good. It's a skill talking to someone and keeping the conversation going. And I do realize the second time, once we got all the small chit chat, like a first date out of the way, the conversation flow was slightly more segmented. Yeah. And it's definitely even a skill. If you're doing it with your friends, you don't have to pay any money. It's such a skill. If you don't have these distractions there, to keep the conversation going and practice your talking to someone else. Like it's such a good skill to have.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's fair. We've been told a fair bit that you just, I guess with you and I, it comes, we have chemistry. Yeah. Just because like we're best mates. So it just is like easy to do. But I guess some people would try. I think
it's a great skill, and it's sort of, you can take that skill as well into your workplace when you're talking to friends, bosses, clients, anything like that. Yeah. Because I know a lot of people in a lot of jobs are held back by their communication skills.
That's a good point. And everyone puts on their resume good communication skills. Yeah. Everyone seems to think that's such a big thing.
But with these phones, make communication all
obsolete.
All through here. And I think it's human to human interaction is so important, and maybe that's a good takeaway from this episode. Yeah. Go with the flow.
Sit down, drink your coffee.
Yeah.
Sit down in the cafe and drink your coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We are going to call one of you lovely listeners to sign off the episode for us today.
That's it. And if you want to sign off an episode, link is in the description of this episode.
It is, yeah. Go sign up and we might give you a call. Today we're going to call Mia.
Let's do it.
Hello, Mia speaking.
Mia, it's Jake and Oddie from The Relatables. How are you?
Oh my gosh, hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing really good. Doing really good. We wanted to call and ask if you could sign off the episode for us. If you can't think of anything, you can just say stay bad. But if you have something to come up with, go for it.
Yes, boys.
Let's boys.
Let's go.
Oh, how good. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
See ya.
You too, bye. Oh, the baddies are so good.
Stay bad.
See ya.